Abraham worships God. Abram, Sarai, and Lot had traveled for many days before they came to their new home. Every day seemed just like the day before. Every day the camels moved slowly across the dusty road as they carried the bundles and the baskets that Abram needed in his new home. Every day the servants moved slowly, guiding the goats and the sheep along the dusty path. Every day Abram and Sarai and Lot slowly led everyone toward their new home. We're following God to the new home, Abram would remind his family and servants as they traveled along. After traveling for many days in the hot, sandy desert, Abram came to a place with some shade. Nearby were hills and grassy valleys, pomegranates, figs, grapes, wheat, and all kinds of vegetables grew in this area. Abraham would be able to dig a well here to get fresh water. This is your new home, God told Abram. This is where you and your family will live. Abram, his family, and his servants were glad to be to hear these words. Now they wouldn't have to travel any more. There would be so much to do now that they were in their new home, and so much to do before the sun went down. Quickly, fathers helped set up the tents. Families helped unpack the bundles and the baskets with clothes, pillows, and blankets. Before the sun went down, there were many animals to care for. The sheep and the goats and the camels needed to get some grass to eat. The sheep and the goats and the camels probably wanted lots of water to drink. Then all the animals needed to be herded back together to sleep for the night. Before the sun went down, Mother had to get dinner ready for their families. Pots and pans were unpacked from the bundles and the baskets. Mothers had mixed flour with a little bit of oil to make flatbread to bake over the fire. Then the families would eat supper together. They probably talked excitedly about all the things they would do in their new home. Before the sun went down, Abram began to pile rocks to build an altar. This was the first thing he did whenever he stopped to rest for the night. Carefully, he stacked one rock on top of the other until he had just as he had done so many times before. Now we're in our new home, Abram thought as he carefully stacked the last of the rocks. I won't have to build another new altar every evening. We are home. Before the sun went down, Abram gathered his family and servants for worship. Abram invited his nearby neighbors to join for worship too. He offered a sacrifice and thanked God for their new home. Abram was thankful for a safe journey to their new home and for the new land God had given him. Abram stopped every day to worship God. Because we love God, we take time to worship every day to worship God too. The Lord is our God, and we will worship only him. Joshua 24:24.